Mossel Bay is situated approximately halfway between the coastal cities of Cape Town and Port Elizabeth. Mossel Bay Local Municipality has a great track record for its service to the community. It has in the past been named South Africa's most financially sustainable municipality. It has also been reported that Mossel Bay is the #1 destination in the Western Cape for South Africans semigrating. This Future Cities Africa episode is with Dirk, Executive Mayor of Mossel Bay Local Municipality. Mayor, welcome. It's great to have you on the show. What do you believe are the key elements to your success or competitiveness, and what role do you think digitisation plays?
Mossel Bay Municipality, we're very fortunate that we're one of the most financially sustainable municipalities in South Africa. We've won that award 2-3 times. And basically that's the first principle, is that we've got financial discipline. We're very strict on debt collection, and we've got long-term financial planning. We're very prudent, and we're very strict when we do budgeting, that we don't budget for stuff that's unnecessary. With that also is political stability. If you don't have a stable platform, it's quite difficult to deliver proper services and to do proper decision making. With instability comes a lot of challenges, waste of time, unfortunately, and so on. And then the other most important thing is that with stability also comes the fact that you can employ competent and knowledgeable staff, which can, at the end of the day, ensure proper service delivery. And then with that as well, digitization can be implemented by competent staff. For instance, we've now, with the assistance of Collaborator, we've developed an app. And with that app, we can offer services to the community. We can offer communications that's quicker. And we've asked Collaborator to assist us with the app to ensure that the app's user-friendly. What we've seen is that many municipalities do have an app, but there's very few users. So we first ask for the app to be developed in such a way that when people log onto the app or start using the app, that it makes sense, that they can, for instance, go into their municipal account, that they can pay the municipal account. Collaborator also assisted us that we can have push notifications. And more importantly, that push notifications go to specific wards. So you can choose whenever you log into the Collaborator Citizen app, you can choose, I'm staying in this specific ward, and then you will only get notifications for that ward. So you don't get won't get swamped with all these different notifications that's not really relevant to you. Obviously, also with that is in terms of our safety systems, we can roll out at this stage safety systems with technology or digitization, which assists us, and obviously it helps curbs us on spending of staff. And then also very importantly is telemetry. It's also digitization that we're busy with. So we implement the telemetry over our municipal area, which gives you notifications whenever there's a problem with valves or with electricity supply or with dam levels and so forth.
The municipality recently launched technology to improve performance management and enhance service delivery. Can you explain how this technology works? What prompted the municipality to consider implementing this technology, and what has the progress been to date?
We know that app technology are widely used and it's quite relevant. People prefer to use apps. So as a municipality, as Mossel Bay Municipality, we try to be a bit different than government, and we try to be more have a the distinction of or more working closer to a more corporate environment and approach. So that's why we looked at the app. We mentioned, as I've mentioned as well, we thought that the app should be user-friendly and that we should offer stuff that it's not only an app where you can go and read stuff. It must be interactive, and that we're very thankful to Collaborator for assisting us with that, where it can be a two-way communication. We're still in development, and we're very fortunate to work with Collaborator as a partner who's listening to our needs. We also want to start rolling out polling votes in terms of decision making. So whenever an important decision must be made, as I've mentioned, it's ward specific. So whenever a decision must be taken for say for instance, in terms of the budget or the IDP, then your residents must be able in future to communicate directly and say, we rather want this compared to that, or this is what we see or this must be in the budget. Or even for the bigger town, you can have people indicating there's two. We only have, for instance, money for one road. We've got option A or option B. Which option does the community prefer? And then also in terms of service delivery, the whole filing system is also based on or our service delivery is based on a filing system linked to various other mechanisms. So what we have is when an email comes in, that's get documented. So we've got the documentation system, which is the collaborator system. A service request gets documented. Then linked to that and linked to the app is a service level that we've linked. So internally, we've got we went to our administration and we've asked them, what do you feel is the appropriate time in which you can, for instance, repair a pothole? And say, for instance, it's 2 days. Then we've struck that deal with the administration, between us as the leadership and the administration. So we've come up with service level standards, and that standards is linked to Collaborator and it's linked to the app. So whenever you give a service request, you can due pin it firstly. And secondly, you will receive a message which indicate, okay, we received your request for the repair of this pothole in this specific area, and that will be completed within 2 days. And then that resident get feedback. And also the other thing is, if we've got now, say for instance, a water outage, 100 people will go through or a few hundred people might go with a power outage. That call volume will go through your call center, and with the app we can eliminate that, because when you log onto the app, it will show you, okay, we've received this service request, and you will see that X amount of people already on the app indicated that there is a power outage. So then going back to the back office, we've got the filing system by Collaborator. So it pulls through the app. If you use an email, exactly the same. If you use an SMS, exactly the same. That goes through the administration and it gets directed to the specific department. And then that department know they've got now this service request, and then immediately when they receive it, a clock starts ticking. And then at the end of the 2 days, it will go red. And then the head of department will see, okay, there's a problem. Why was this pothole not fixed? With that as well, we've got a Friday morning meeting. We call it the services meeting. And all our head of department, some of the councillors in oversight roles, they attend that. We call it services monitoring meeting. So all the red flags then gets discussed and asked, why was this not attended to? So it's actually oversight and actually also performance management all in one that we get done through this technology and digitization and systems, obviously with the help of Collaborator.
Mayor, how is the municipality creating an enabling environment for the private sector that is mutually beneficial to both the private sector and the public sector? What has the municipality done to improve communication with the private sector?
From our side, first of all, we try to create an environment in which businesses can thrive, and we try to create an environment in which people can stay and feel appreciated. So that's why we have a lot of people moving here, the private sector. So we ensure firstly that we've got proper services. Secondly, we try to ensure that we've got a safe environment. As I've mentioned, we're busy using technology. We've just completed a year or two ago the construction of a huge joint operation command center. And everything that we do, we try to do that on once again on collaboration, on partnerships or in partnership. So in the Joint Operation Command Center, we've got the South African Police Services there 24/7. We've got neighborhood watches represented there. We've got Rhino Watch Africa. We've got the district municipality traffic services, fire services, and so on. And the whole center has been run on the concept of a non-profit organization that's been established with representation by council playing the oversight role. And then you put knowledgeable people or people who's passionate, say, for instance, in this regard about safety, they're in the driving seat, they driving the project, which they are knowledgeable and passionate about, backed by the municipality then, and oversight done by the officials. We also try to enhance this relationship, as I've mentioned, with good communications. So from our side, we've implemented or adopted a new communication strategy. So as I've mentioned, through the Collaborator app, we're now busy with a new studio. So a lot of effort goes in from our side to ensuring that we've got proper communications between ourselves and our private the private sector and citizens. So we try to make it all the time. We try to enhance two-way communication. Me and my team, we also go into the community quite a lot. We also believe in that personal touch, personal communication, and attention to detail.
What specific measures is your administration taking to enhance the resilience of your supply chains and to ensure uninterrupted access to critical goods and services, especially during times of crisis and disruption?
The supply chain regulations, to start off with, is a crisis. But I've only over the past few days with some of the projects that we are rolling out, we as local government, I don't think the community out there are aware of the stringent regulations in which local government function. And some of those regulations are obviously supply chain regulations. And it comes with challenges, but in trying times, what we try to do is obviously to plan ahead. We're very fortunate with knowledgeable staff. As I've mentioned, we've got great institutional knowledge, so we plan ahead. We've got all our emergency plans in place. Whenever we see or foresee that a problem might occur, we obviously activate our Joint Operation Command Center. We activate meetings where everybody, all the major role players, including our supply chain managers, are included. And then we analyze, we stock take regularly. What we've done is, especially now with a possible blackout, and we've seen the increased stages of load shedding at this stage. What we do is regular checking on the levels of our fuel, and obviously ensuring that we stay ahead. And whenever we order, that we order in advance, and that we order enough to curb possible outages, as I've mentioned as an example.
Mayor, on leadership, what is the key characteristics of a visionary leader?
First of all, you must have a vision. You must have a plan and the strategy. That's true, and some time must be spent on that. And I will, as you've mentioned, we will discuss that just now. But I think after that, the most important thing then needs to happen, where you've got practical leadership, where you've got people who actually implement. I think we've got leaders in this country that's capable and that's able of making plans and creating legislation and systems and so forth. But I think we're lacking of leaders who can implement and get things done. So unfortunately, politicians are known to be good talkers and not always doers. And I think that's definitely lacking in our country. We need leaders that can lead the way in terms of practical leadership, talk less, do more. And with that as well, be humble enough to go into the communities with in terms of being tangible, being a person, not being somebody superior, only up there, nobody being able to reach you. I think, as a visionary leader, you must have an open door policy. You must be approachable to the people. They must be able to connect to you. You must be able to get to their level, to communicate on that level, or on their level. but the most important thing is to ensure that implementation gets done, and obviously measured, that performance gets measured.
You've mentioned some of the things that our leaders are not getting right when leading their municipalities or organizations. What needs to change, and how can change happen?
We've seen political parties in this country having outright majorities for many years. And I think it's easy. The trap is there to get complacent. I think what is very important is when you've got a stable platform, when people gave you the mandate, that must be utilized. So that platform must not be used to sit back and say, okay, now I've won. Now I've got the people supporting me, and now I can sit around idly and think about what I'm going to do and so forth. That platforms need to be utilized to then urgently start implementing and showing to the voters and to residents and show that proof of evidence for their vote, that their votes deserved. Yeah, so I think a lot of times politicians have platforms which they don't use to their benefit, unfortunately, in our country.
Mayor, in closing, what is your vision for the future of Mossel Bay Local Municipality? What does success look like at the end of your term?
For me, it will be to have a growing economy, a sustainable economy, to drive down unemployment, to be able to drive down. It's not that easy for local government, but you can get it right. For instance, one of our strategies in terms of, we've got a growth strategy with 5 pillars, one of them being governance. And obviously that's the main one. So to ensure that you've got world-class services that you roll out, even though we're staying in a third world country, and to be sustainable. So we've got a lot of people who come and retire here, so you must also ensure that you're not too expensive. But yeah, with that, it's to ensure that you've got an environment in which people, so the other pillar is, as I've mentioned, to have a safety, to have a safe environment where people can feel that they're safe. To the other one, the third pillar, safety, to environment, to create an environment in which people feel that they're part of the town or the city, that they can live in dignity, that they can take ownership, they can take pride in what's been offered to them, and that they can help build on that, come up with ideas. That's why the partnerships is so important, because with partnerships comes trust. As soon as you trust each other, your community can help assist, and we as government, we don't have enough money and the workforce at this stage to just deliver what's needed. So we need the partnerships, we need the private sector, and especially we need people who's knowledgeable, and most importantly, we need people who's passionate about what they believe in and what they can bring to the table. Many times we see projects that's been rolled out in our town very successfully due to or through partnerships, because the people, they don't see it as work. They're just passionate about what they do. And then the next pillar of our strategy is social regeneration. So also again in partnerships, as you've mentioned, with the Mayoral Golf Day that we had last week, we were able to fundraise 600,000 Rand, and all that money goes back, because yes, we do have people that's in need in our country and in our town. So they must also, it's one thing to treat people with respect and try to deliver services, but many times there's other needs. There's unfortunately social challenges, massive social challenges in our community, and you also need money to address that and to carry on with that. So yeah, that is some of the pillars of my growth strategy, and yeah, that's also our vision to through these various strategies, through partnerships, after 5 years, leave a town that we can say it's a world-class town. It's a beautiful looking town. Everything is functioning, everything is clean, and people want to come here, and they want to come and invest in our town. They want to come and host the events here. We've got for this financial year around about more than 90 different major events in Mossel Bay that's been planned and that's been rolled out. Yeah, so that's in a nutshell the vision for our town.
A special thank you to Executive Mayor Dirk Kotzé for this insightful conversation on Future Cities Africa.